What's wrong, Mamie?
We've never been apart this long.
He's just going to see his cousins. It's not a bad thing for him to know where he come from.
Well, Chicago is all he needs to know. I don't want him seeing himself the way those people are seen down there.
Those people like me?
Even you left Mississippi, Mama.
Mamie, Bo is growing up. You're gonna have to let him go. All right, I know that face. That is the face of Mama. Mind your business.
We are back with the Whoopi Goldberg, who stars in a powerful new movie, Till, based on the true story of Mamie Till-Mobley's fight for justice for her 14-year-old son, Emmett Till, who was murdered in Mississippi in 1955. When you see the scenes, or when you're in that, you're a mom, you're a grandmom.
I'm a great-grandma.
Grandma.
You know.
You look good for a great grandma.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Look good, the new great-grandma.
The new great-grandma.
I mean, when you're ending the set and you're going home, Whoopi, and decompressing that kind of trauma.
Well, you know, we've been part of this trauma of really kind of all our lives. I mean, my big brother, when he would go down south and see family, that was the discussion. You know, you got to try to not be big, be small. You know, you got to kind of shrink yourself down because you don't understand what you're going to, you know. And as a little one, I didn't know because I never went down south.
They never
sent me. I feel like they knew. That perhaps there was a rebellious part of me. But I know that all these traumas, whether we're black or Asian or white or whatever, we've all got trauma.
Yeah.
You know, and on top of everything else, I'm hopeful that we can recognize it in each other and be a little kinder.
Which brings me to, I saw that you made headlines. You had to go on your show, The View, and talk about a report that reviewed the film and then made a snide comment that you were wearing a fat suit.
Yeah.
And I was never going to bring this up, but you brought it up on The View. They then had to take it down out of the article. And I thought to myself, of everything in this film you could be writing about and talking about, you had time for that.
Yeah.
But you didn't have time to use that pen for power. And it wasn't true.
Well, I think, yeah. Here's because I'm guilty of this too. You write something and you don't see it as being a kind of snarky comment. Yeah. But I felt it was important because I wasn't wearing a fat suit. That was actually me because I'd been sick and had all, I mean, that's a lot of me. You know, but that's all steroids and painkillers and all kinds of stuff. And I wanted the young lady to know that I needed her to just do a little bit better of a job. You know, when you see me do stuff like this, I'm really trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. I know that, yeah.
You know, I apologize for stuff when I think I've done something. They have a hell of a time getting me to do it when they think I've done something. But when I think I've done something, I will generally come out and say it because that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
I don't think this young lady thought she was doing, I don't think she realized what it read like, what it sounded like, what it did to her review, regardless of how one feels about the movie. That took us also out of the review, out of the point of the movie, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So I think she understands now. But
that was very compassionate of you, and I agree with you. In the moment, we all make mistakes. Hers happened to be in print.
Yeah.
That said, I mean, on this story arc of your life, is compassion the most important trait? Because I see you offer it all the time, but especially now. Like that's a thoughtful answer. You could have taken all kinds of roads, but you said, I'm gonna put myself in her shoes.
There have been so many things that I have hoped to do in my life, and one of them was to be a halfway decent person. You know, I have a tendency, I can be a bit of a... you know, just a bon vivant. You know, and so I'm trying to be more compassionate to people. I'm trying to be more understanding because I realize that there's so many things people don't know. Yeah. You know, and sometimes if they've not been around other kinds of folks, they don't know how to talk to you. Yeah. So you have to sometimes suck it up.
Ah, coming up, Whoopi's Till co-star, actress Danielle Deadwyler, is getting Oscar buzz. You just saw, Whoopi said, at the mention of her name. Her electrifying performance as Mamie Till-Mobley is unforgettable, and why Danielle says she almost passed on this role of a lifetime. We'll be right back. Today we are hearing stories of people who risk everything in their pursuit of justice, like Mamie Till-Mobley, who is the focus of my guest Whoopi Goldberg's powerful new movie, Till. It is based on the true story of Mamie's fight for justice after her 14-year-old son, Emmett Till, was murdered in Mississippi in 1955. My next guest, actress Danielle Deadwyler, plays Mamie in the film and is getting praise for her heartbreaking and powerful performance. Whoopi says it is one of the best she's ever seen. Take a look.
Bo, when you get down there...
Oh, not again, Mama. I've already been to Mississippi.
Only one time before, and you started a fight with another little boy.
He was picking on me.
You're in the right to stand up for yourself, but that's not what I'm talking about. They have a different set of rules for Negroes down there. Are you listening?
Yes.
You have to be extra careful with white people. You can't risk looking at them the wrong way.
I know.
Bo, be small down there.
Danielle Deadwyler joins us from Los Angeles. Danielle, wow. Oh my God. Thank you. You auditioned in a closet with your 13-year-old son at home. You were over Zoom. Yeah. And I kept trying to think, what is that like? You're reading this material. Your 13-year-old son is not very far away, and you're going into this space mentally that no parent wants to enter. What was that like for you?
That's the difficulty of trying to decide whether or not you even want to do this kind of role. It's not that like you want to just pass, it's that you want to give it the reverence that it deserves. I'm from Atlanta. I've been rooted in the civil rights legacy. I've interned and volunteered with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. So this is just something that's been a part of my DNA. And so I go into it with that reverence. And I had to, stutter step into even reading the whole script, stutter step into doing the audition, and then having that experience of doing the director's session with Chinoya, where we explored the scene where she sees his body for the first time. That, it's the most gut-wrenching and difficult thing you could possibly even think of. It's beyond those words, right? And so that's what I'm going into it with. That it's going to be an overwhelming experience.
And then you hear the great Whoopi Goldberg say it is the best performance she's ever seen. And she's been in some high praise rooms. Yeah. What was that like for you to hear her say that as she is sitting right here?
Hey, baby.
Hey, Whoopi stepped on the scene and was just doing everything that she does. She is caring and loving in the same way that Chinoya and the whole cast and crew have been in the making of this work. And I just think, if you say it about me, you're saying it about everybody. Because this was a community effort. I can't get through this if Chinoya is not advocating for me to make sure I'm okay and how many takes I do. I don't get through this without Sean Patrick Thomas making sure I'm okay in every scene that we're in together. I don't get through this without, all of the different PAs and the camera department wearing, shirt and ties the day that we have those really difficult scenes to say, Danielle, we're in solidarity with you. You're not doing this totally alone.
This is a labor of love.
And then Whoopi says that, yep, That's exactly what it is. It's
Yeah.
a deep labor of love. And I just, you know, if Whoopi happy, then I'm happy.
I have to ask you, at the beginning of our interview, I was talking to Whoopi about justice. This show is about justice. And we know that people are still waiting to see the accuser in a courtroom facing what we hope is justice. I mean, we can just say that. Do you think it will happen? She is in her 80s now.
I think that after we had our premiere at the New York Film Festival, I came to the back, and the Till family is back there. And I know they had already seen it before, but they were so deeply emotional and deeply inspired. And so they said, this is not over.
Yeah.
It's not over.
So I do believe that there is the possibility of accountability being beyond what has happened thus far.
I should point out, Carolyn Bryant Dunham, in an unpublished memoir that surfaced in July, claimed that she had tried to discourage her husband from harming the teenager.
And then she walked it back.
And then she walked it back.
Mm-hmm.
I just want her to get on it. You know, I want somebody to swear her in and say, after all this time, do you see that you had a part in this? And I want her to, I pray that she says, I do see, and I am devastated by my part in this.
Well, Danielle, thank you so much. I'm assuming you're working on your Oscar speech. And if you have any trouble with your Oscar speech, we happen to know someone who has an Oscar. Right. I think that's perfect. And you know what would even be better? If you hosted the Oscars. Again. How about that?
You know, I'm a big fan of the Oscars, so, you know.
So you would do it again?
Oh yeah, because it was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Whoopi.
you.
Danielle, thank you so much. As Whoopi said, you can see Till in select cities now, and it opens nationwide starting tomorrow.